Hello, my name is Haley Marchant and I am 16 years old and I have been participating in 4-H for 7 years now. This year I decided to participate in the virtual science fair. So I decided to do a experiment on which animal or human has the most bacterial growth in their mouth. The first step to conduct a science experiment is asking a question. So, my question is, which species has the most bacterial growth in their mouth? The second step of conducting a science experiment is your research. So, I researched some animal and human diseases that are contracted through the mouth orally. You may be wondering why I researched diseases and illnesses. Well, let me tell you why. If you or an animal ingests something bad, you would think that the same bacteria will still be living in your mouth or the animal's mouth. Well, I cannot test which bacteria is still there, but I can test which one has the most bacterial growth. The third step of conducting a science experiment is forming a hypothesis or an educated guess. So my hypothesis is that the dog will have the most bacterial growth in their mouth. The fourth step of conducting a science experiment is designing your experiment. So I have 8 different Petri dishes. One is my control dish that has absolutely nothing in it to be sure that my Petri dishes that I ordered is not contaminated. 7 other Petri dishes have my variety of different animals and myself's saliva put in it for the bacterial growth. This is part 2 of the 4th step design experiment. This is how I set up my experiment. So I have my variety of different animals. I have my cat, my rabbit, my dog, my horse, my goat, my cow, myself, and my control Petri dish. So I set these up on a dark surface, which is construction paper, so you can see where I have put the bacteria. This is day 2, but this is my setup of my experiment. For this part of the experiment, I'm going to be swabbing a variety of different animals' mouth. So, I have a goat, a cow, a dog, cat, horse, rabbit, and myself. So I'm going to have human and different kinds of animals. Got it. Okay, this is me swabbing my 4-H project goat, Darling. Alrighty. Swabbing my cat. He's not too thrilled. Come on, good boy. Good boy. Come here. Get some more. Sorry. Gently rubbing it on. There we go. I am going to swab my bunny's mouth. Getting the cotton swab. Good boy. Let go. Okay. Now, I'm going to put the saliva in the dish. And there swabbing my cat. That's really wanting. Okay, right. Now I am going to swab my mouth. We're getting a cotton swab. Okay, Hope you hold that right there. There we go. So now I am going to get my Petri dish. Alrighty. Now that I have swabbed the animals, the following video clips is of the Petri dishes with the bacteria growth and the dates that I took the video with. August 9th, 2020, 2 days after I swabbed the animals. There's the rabbit, the cat, the horse. Remember, 2 days after I swabbed the animal. Goat, cow, myself, and then my control. So the control has nothing in it. Day 3. There's my control. There's myself. As you can see, there is some growing, but not very much. Here's the cow. You can tell that there is some big spots of bacteria. There's the goat. It's got a little more than the cow. There's the horse, and it's probably got the most compared to all 3. Cat, I mean, it's got some, but not as much as the horse. The rabbit has a bunch also, as you can see, the little dots. Then the dog has fairly none almost. I mean, there is some, but not compared to the rest. And that is day 3. Day 4. We have the dog, the rabbit, the cat, the horse, the goat, the cow, myself, and control. Day 4. Day 5. My control is still clean. Here's mine. Here's the cow. Very, very nasty looking. The goat. The horse. Still very, very, very gross. The cat. The rabbit. And the dog. I would say that the dog has the least amount compared to the animals, and then mine isn't too bad. So after observing for 5 days, I observed that the horse has the most bacterial growth in their mouth, which at the beginning of the project, I thought that the dog would have the most bacterial growth, but it turned out to be the horse. The human, which was myself, turned out to be very little, very close to none, actually. And the second one that had the most bacterial growth was the cow, which was very surprising as they are herbivores. The final step of conducting a science experiment is sharing your data that you collected. So my data is from least amount of bacterial growth to the most amount of bacterial growth for each animal, and including myself. So the least bacterial growth, and this is not counting the control because there was absolutely no bacterial growth on the control, but the thing that had the least amount of bacterial growth was myself. Then came the dog. So the dog barely had any at all. Third is the cat. It had a little bit more than the dog. Fourth, the rabbit. The rabbit had more than the cat, the dog, and myself. Next, which is number 5, is the cow. Number 6 is the goat. And then number 7 is the horse. So the horse had the most bacterial growth out of all animals, and including myself. And myself had the least amount of bacterial growth. So that concludes my science experiment for the virtual 4-H science fair. And what I learned is absolutely crazy. I've had all of these animals, and I've never really known how much bacteria that they have in their mouth. So, I mean, if you got bitten by one of these animals, you could get a serious infection, because some of these bacterial growths that I have saw over the past 5 days has been absolutely crazy. But it is really, really cool to see all the bacteria growing in these Petri dishes. It has been one learning experience. So, thank you guys for watching. Bye.